Okay, let's get started. As I mentioned, there are a couple of things I want to cover now from questions that have come up. Um, so first of all, we were asked a couple days ago about doing in CLIPitc something that CLIPXC did. So this is the scenario. So the scenario is you've got some jobs that were done and from the previous day, so say from yesterday, but they were not all completed. Now you want to record the ones that were, so they don't show up on the route sheet, but you want the ones that were not completed to show up. So in this scenario, we have here then a couple of fall cleanups, and they're dated back on 10/1. Now, if I go to print route sheets here, I hit show report, and both jobs are showing up here. Now, the idea is if we do record this, I'm just going to hit mark selected as done. So I'm going to record it then with no real times. Now, if I come back to print route sheets and go to filter report and hit show report, see the only one showing up now is the one that wasn't done. That means that on the next day, you could print for the 1st and the 2nd of October in this illustration. And the one that was done on the 1st will not appear. It's not been finalized yet, so you can still come back here later. And when you have time, come into the edit button here and then set up the times for the job. I think this was Lee had requested this. I'm not sure if Lee's here today, so I'll have to remember this to tell him or to send him this video. Again, that allows you to record a job as having been done through the mark selected as done process, which doesn't capture times. Then you can come back in and record the times later. In the meantime, the job will not show up on the route sheet like the one that wasn't done will reappear. Okay, so that was one issue. Another was we got a question about if you're scheduling work and you only want to do a part of the schedule. This is usually most appropriate for lawn care application type services. How can you just print a few of the route sheet invoices rather than all of them? So with that, we're going to come here to get work. And then in get work, where we've got this refresh for today. Now I'll use lawn maintenance as an illustration of this. So I have a bunch of lawn maintenance jobs on crew 1, but I don't want to do all of them today. I want to do a select number. I can go here to adjust schedule. And so here now are my crew 1 services. What I can do is I can create a crew number, and I'll see if I've got one that really is not have any work on it. So I'm going to go to crew. Yeah, I'll just look at crew 100 here, my emergency crew. Okay. Now I don't need to see crews 2 or 3, so I can eliminate those. Okay, where's crew 100? Okay, here's crew 100. Well, it looks like it did have one property on there. We'll pretend it didn't. Now, what I can do is if I want to then print only some of the mowing jobs, I can come in here. And these are incidentally in routing sequence order. So you should have some confidence that this will be a logical route. So we go down and we choose 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jobs. And then I come here, select crew 100. I'm not going to make it permanent. And then I hit move jobs. Now I can go back in here to route sheets, and I want to do through today's date. Today, oops, wrong year, sorry. So I come back here, go to the 25th, and I do crew 100, show report. Now this is the route sheet itself. If I wanted to do the individual like route sheet invoices as I would for the application jobs, I'd come here and choose whatever form I want. And I'm working out of the jobs database. So I just hit show report here. And now I've got the 9 customers showing up for this. That's the way to work around then scheduling or putting on the schedule or printing for a limited number of customers who are on the calendar. Now, an easier way to do it would be if you're using the programs and rounds features. So you come up, here's Lee. Hi, Lee. I just showed before you got here that you are able to record work that's been done, either with or without times, not finalize it, and those jobs will not appear on the route sheet with other work. So if you're working in, you want to print out a route sheet for today and include work that got missed yesterday, you can go in and record the jobs that were done yesterday, and you just hit the mark selected as done if you don't have time to enter the start and stop times. Then when you go to print the route sheets for today and you include yesterday's work, those that have been recorded will not appear on the route sheet. All right, so now we're looking at under how do you deal with a situation where you've got, say, a large number of applications, but you don't want to print all of them. How can you be selective? Another way is if you have those set up as programs and rounds, you come to activate rounds. And so we're going to activate round 1 in these 3 programs. And I hit next here. So here now are the all the customers. Now, they're currently in alphabetical order, looks like. What you can do is you can click routing and sort them in routing sequence number order. And then from this screen, again, if these have these set up correctly, you can come in and check off however many. And down here, you'll be seeing what the cumulative time or dollar amount is for those. So here we've got just under an hour. So I just keep going until I get to the quantity of work that I need here. Then I can hit add work, and they'll be added to the workbank. Now, this presupposes, again, you've got routing numbers in here. That makes sense, and you can use the routing feature to do that. But then you just cherry pick the quantity you want, hit add work, and now you will just print for those applications on the route sheets. Okay, Brookview is, how about a multi-day recording? Well, a multi-day job will continue to show up day after day if it's because in multi-day, it's flagged not as Y that's been done, but it's flagged as an I incomplete, and those are designed to show up on the subsequent days. So it will still print those on the route sheets. Okay, so just a couple of things to clarify. All right, now we're going to be looking at reports in CLIP. Just by way of a general introduction, there are built-in reports, which are the ones you see listed over here on the side or under these different menus here. And then there are custom reports. Custom reports are, like the word described, reports that are customized or made up by you, by the user. And you can save these, and custom reports will be updated based on any changes in the information. That means if in January you create a custom report showing you all your customers and email addresses, and then you add a bunch of customers and you run the same report in March, it would then add those new customers and updated email addresses to the report later. Now, if you integrate with QuickBooks, some of the accounting reports in CLIPitc will be done in QuickBooks. For instance, accounts receivable and sales tax reports will be done in QuickBooks. Okay. All right. With that having said that, when you're in the report section, you can navigate on the left side here or through the drop-down menus. So two different ways to get to the report that you want. And we'll start kind of just going through these, one at a time. I don't know if I'll cover all of them. Some are less consequential than others. I'll try to hit the more important ones for this. But I will start with customer list because there are certain features that are common across many different reports. So often when you click on a report, it will pull up a screen that allows you to select some options. That could be a date range, customer number range, etc., as we'll see in some reports. In this one, we're looking for a customer list. And we can sort it by customer name, customer number, or by billing street name. So we'll do customer number. And you can have some inclusions here. So if you want to just do active reports, you would not check this filter. And then you can display a portrait, which is 8.5 by 11 with the 11 inches, the vertical axis, or landscape, the 11 inches, the horizontal axis. You can also choose to show city, state, and zip. So I'll just choose these. And then I hit show report. And now here's the report. Up here, you've got in this bar some different options. Refresh is to refresh it. Earlier, I was kind of looking at my job costing report and correcting some data entry errors. And so what I had the job costing report in one tab and then the customers in the other. So I looked at the job costing report, saw something needed to be fixed, moved to the customer tab, fixed it, came back to the report and hit refresh, and it updated based on what I had fixed in the customer. Here it allows you to jump to a given page. So this is how long the report is. It's 2 pages long. You can also scroll with these arrows. The single arrow takes you forward or back to the next page. For longer reports, the double arrow takes you to the last page or back to the first page here. This just shows you a print preview if you click on it. So you'll see the format is different, and this is actually 20 pages long in the print preview. I untoggle it, and now it's 2 pages long in this. That's kind of interesting. I wonder why that is. Okay. But that's the way the toggle works. The arrow is, you can download it in different file formats. You could create a PDF file if you needed to email this to somebody, for instance. CSV, Excel, and Excel are all variations of spreadsheets. You can send this to a PowerPoint presentation. A rich text format allows you to recreate this formatting, but then edit it so you can type in, delete, etc. TIFF, I believe, is like a photo file. Web archive, I don't know if that means it's HTML, but and then Word documents, a Word document, and XPS, I think, is another form of a Word document. So those are some different file formats that you can generate or save this report in. When you save to Excel, some reports display better in Excel than others. Like the job costing report is very difficult to manage in Excel, but you'll get a feel for that. Then you have the print here. So if you click on this, it will first give you a preview of what's going to print. So here this is, and then, oh, well, that's it. Oh, I know why, because I'm doing the landscape. This final column is creating a new page. So you can do some different, within the printer, often you can fit to page and do other things there. And then you would just print this. Then here you've got a zoom, so that can zoom in, zoom out. This then gives it it toggles views. So this view, so different sizes, this view is useless. I don't know why that's there. And then finally you can search. So if you wanted to search for Bob Hope on this list, you could then hit the magnifying glass, put in the name, and then you click on it here and it'll take you to that location on the report. In long reports, it's there. It makes it easier to navigate, to go look at what you want to look at. Okay, now again, it's not that the customer list is the most important report by any means, but we just wanted to introduce some of these options for you. And now, if you let's say you realize, oh, I do want my on-hold customers after all, you can come back to the filter and then just change whatever your settings are here and then hit show report and it will update accordingly. Okay, so that's customer list. History. History is a report that you'll probably use. We looked at this briefly because you can use this to show your payments by clicking this and giving the date range, and then it'll show payments you've entered. Otherwise, you can show a lot of history here. So you can choose the job value, you can choose to show man hours, include contract jobs, etc., sort by date. So whatever you want here, and again, it's done by customers. If a customer calls you and you want to do a history on their specific account, you just sort by the customer number there. And then show report. And so this is a running history report for the month. So here's Jose Rodriguez, application. Here's, it shows sales tax. So this is, again, fairly self-explanatory for the history of the customer. And again, you can come in here and tweak this as needed and then just refresh the report by hitting show report. Source report. Okay, the source report is quite useful. Let me show you how that is derived. In the customers, there is a field in the general section under a customer where you would put the source. So this customer came in response to some postcards we mailed. Now, in the source report itself, you can then come in and you can say, I want postcard campaign, and I want to see customers going back to, we'll go back to 2019. Let's see what results we get, February 1st. Include that. So I have 3 customers through the postcard campaign. Tom Selleck hasn't generated any work for us, but these other 2 have about $7,500. So 3 customers, $7,500 in revenue from postcards. And this can help me decide, do I want to do postcards again? Was it worthwhile? And then again, you can come in here and look at other factors. You can look at all sources, and let me just move this up a year so I don't get overwhelmed by information. Oh, that's not a year. So we'll go to January 1st of last year through today. So now this is showing me these customers were without a source. So those are new customers where I wasn't tracking that. If I were to go in and find a source for these, then I would they would be distributed. Referrals, 1184. Internet search, 24,000. So that was worthwhile. Postcard campaign again, email advertising, walk up here again. So this is total revenue from all sources during this with a total of 65 customers. So not only does it tell you how many customers you gained through a given source, but it tells you how much revenue that source generated, thus make you helps you with your investing your marketing budget for that. If you do your billing out of CLIP, you have an AR report here, and you show report. Again, you can use the expansion here to make it bigger. All right, so here now it's being sorted initially by account number. So I've got this -3. That means that these invoices have a due date 3 days from now. And until that time, they do not become overdue. Now, Jose Rodriguez has a $50 invoice that's 56 days past due, $2,500 that's 2 weeks past due, and so on. And then you can come to the bottom of this report, and it will then give you a running total of how much your AR is for that. We've had some requests to sort, to give a different sort for this, so that has gone to development. So it might be here eventually. You can sort by name or sort by amount or something for that. Now, somewhat related to that, I'm going to take a little jump. Down here, you have the account balance report. Now, AR report itemizes invoices and which ones are past due. The account balance report shows you just the balance for different customers. This is not a specific invoice. This total may be several invoices. But this is giving an overview for what your customers owe you. And again, there's no tally at the bottom of this, but it is, you can export it to Excel for that. Ed is asking, can you get history from a customer? There's not a history option in the customer screen. And also, there's not a history option for specific jobs within a customer. That latter has been referred to development to add. That means you could go into, say, the mowing service for a customer and look at the history just of the mowing service, showing you each visit, the amount, budgeted hours, actual hours, and it can give you a running tally of like average time. So we are looking at adding that function for the reports and the jobs. All right, sales tax report. This is a report that is not automatically generated when you do billing. You can just come in here and create the report whenever you want to. So I wanted to look at a summary report for the month of February so far. So I hit show report. It creates it here with the print option, and you hit refresh to generate it, and then you hit print to view it. And so here's for Maryland sales tax. I had total no tax debits of this amount, taxable debits this, and then the sales tax I owe for that. Now, again, if you are a QuickBooks user, the AR and sales tax report will be seen in QuickBooks. Sales report. Okay, the sales report allows you to look and see what your sales have been for a particular job and a particular time frame. Now, job number 1 is mowing. So I want to see how much mowing I've done in February. So I'm going to hit show report here. And now here are, okay, this is interesting. No job number there. I'll have to investigate. But here now are job numbers 1. Now, yeah, so there are a couple kind of anomalies here. And I'll look at a longer report here. So 50 lines. So here's the date the service was done, quantity, rate, subtotals of what we're charging for customers. And then again, you can export it to Excel. Now let me just scroll down to see if there's a tally at the bottom of this report. No, it just shows 54 items. So again, you can dump it into Excel to manipulate it. And once it goes to Excel, you can sort it by job number, by material. Okay, so these are from intertransactions or additional work. So that's what that is. Let me see if that top one, yeah, that's probably the same thing. So I just I did this through additional work or additional charges. To-do report. Okay, just again to kind of refresh our memories for that. So within customers, you can create to-dos. Likewise, general notes coming in from the field create to-dos. And so you go to a customer, hit add task, create a reminder. So they want an estimate. And they want this middle of April after they get their tax refund back. So we'll do the 18th. And estimate for outdoor kitchen. Assign it to me. And then hit save. And close. Okay, so now back in the report, I can say, okay, I want to look at my April schedule, thinking about taking some vacation time, but want to see if I've got a lot of appointments set up. So I'll look ahead to April. April 30th. Activity required, yes. So here it is. So this just gives you a way to view what the status is of different to-dos you may have created for that, for the to-dos. Okay, rolling right along here. Next, payment report we looked at when we talked about billing. Estimate report. This shows you who has outstanding estimates. So you can look at the status and you want to see how many have we sent, what status that is. And again, you've got a date range. So we'll go back a ways to see if we can catch something in here. And then hit show report. So there are 3 sent ones. Just makes me wonder if those are all the same one. I probably have sent it over and over again as part of a demo for someone. But this will just give you a status of your different estimates. And you could hit show all. And over here are the statuses: accepted, proposed, accepted. You can sort by this columns if you need to, and date column. So see which ones are relatively older and may need more attention. All right, so that is a report related to your estimates. Packages report. This allows you to look at, for instance, your installment packages and when they expire. So I'm going to go charge by installment, and I'm going to do active, include never expires. And then I'll come back again a little bit to see what I catch. Show report. So here are the different customers, the installment, active, seasonal amount. Here are the amounts in the installment field here. How many jobs are associated with that installment? So this is, again, just giving you an overview of the packages that you've got in play in the customers. Job reports. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit and look at job reports. Crew route list. This is a very popular report in CLIPitc because in the XE version, it allows you to edit the data here. In ITC, you can only view the data. So if I want to look at all of Crew 1's customers here, and I can sort them by route number, I can then show report. And here again, we've got that weird, very narrow, small print. Okay, so these are all of Crew 1's customers. These are the jobs that they have and the next visit date for each one. Again, in XE, you could actually go in and edit some of this information. That's been given to support as or to development as a request. So I'm not sure if there's some restraints in the way this is programmed to not allow editing, but I hope they'll be able to add that capability to this report. Okay, next is a very important report, job costing. And so I'm going to look, I've got some data set up for the first week of January, or January 1st through 10th. So I'm going to choose that date range. And I'm going to sort by dollars per hour. What this does it puts those where I'm making the least money at the top of the report and those where I'm making the most at the bottom. And I'm going to show history here and hit show report. So here now is my report. So Herman Bovink, we're only making just under $21 an hour for him. Now, I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, I wonder if there's a typo in there. Did this really take 10 hours? So like I mentioned earlier, I can go here to this tab, find customer, and I can search for Herman and go to history here. And here's the job on the 4th. So I select that. I've got the 225 here, and I come down to employees. And I realize, oh, okay, Miguel actually did not come back on that day, so I can delete his line entry. And so now I go ahead and it's saved already. I come back here and I hit refresh. So now Herman is not there. He's been moved down a little bit on the list because now I'm up to $25 an hour. So that's how you can, if you're looking at these reports and you see something that needs to be fixed, you can then go into another tab to the customer, fix it, come back out and hit refresh. All right, let's go ahead a couple pages here. All right, so here we're George Jetson. He had lawn maintenance done, budgeted time, actual time, so he's at $30. And then I go a little farther ahead. I want to be making $50 an hour. So when I get up to Casper Weinberger now, it starts showing $50. This one shows, okay, $36.23. This is taking into account travel time. So apart from travel time, this also is making $50 an hour. Now I can go to the very bottom of the report, and I have Don Quixote, and I'm making $141.51 an hour for him. So the lawn maintenance is budgeted for an hour and a quarter, but I took or an hour 25 minutes, but I took a half hour to do it. So quite a savings there. And also it'll take into account material cost and price. And as we've seen, travel time. If there's a material associated with this, it will subtract it from the charge, and then on that basis, divide by the time to give you dollar per hour, so it's not inflated. And now this is a summary of the entire report. So as a company, I'm averaging just under my $50 an hour here. So it's pretty good, but I do need to improve some of these ones at the top of the list here. And again, the value of this report is you can then concentrate on raising prices where you need to. That means that at the end of 2022, you can run this report and be, of course, much more extensive than what you're viewing here. And you would start at the top here, and these are the people where you're making the least money, and then you can make changes in what you're charging them. And the folks at the bottom of the list where you're making the most money, you can send them a Christmas present or do something else to make them feel good about being your client there. All right, that's a job costing report. Just a time check. Okay, we've been going about a half an hour, so I'm going to go a little bit longer on these. Then pre-service notifications report. This will give you a list of who you need to call to do a phone pre-service notification. The pre-service notification via email is just emailed automatically, but this is to show you your call list. Materials report. This report is designed to give you materials. So how much you used, cost, price, etc. This is designed as well to allow you to do report for your EPA. So you do have some totals down here. And you've got the date range. So you could look at this for the year. If you have to do from 2021, you're able to come in and select the date range you want for the report. And then, as I said, you can then dump it to Excel, create a PDF file for it, or etc. So this is a useful. Okay. Getting a question from the job cost. Do you still run job cost report for all customers' jobs to see what you make per that customer overall? Yes. The job costing report will break out within the customer each service and each visit if you show history. Then it will say for mowing, you averaged $52 an hour. For the spring cleanup, it was $47 an hour. For the fall cleanup, it was, and so on. And then there would be a cumulative total, which is basically all the revenue generated by that customer divided by all the time spent on all the jobs for the whole time period, the whole year. And then it would give you what that is for that one customer for that. Yeah, Brookview, that's a great question. I don't know why this is showing a dollar amount. I did send an email to development today just pointing it out to them again. So I just ignore this. If I were in your shoes, I would export to Excel, confirm the totals just to be on the safe side because I tend to be kind of paranoid. And then based on the Excel, send that off to whoever I need to or submit it to however I need to submit it. Daily work report we looked at, that is that final list of work done that you do. So you come in here, and I wonder if I posted anything yesterday. Yeah, just a couple things. So this just shows me again for the day, dollar per hour. So this is useful to review so you stay on top of accounts where excuse me, there may be data entry errors or problems with the account. Hard job cost report. This is designed to give you a report based more on like how much you're paying your guys, how that affects this. So I'm going to do this report here, just see what we get. So Hans Buster, job done on the 8th. Okay, here we go. Here's an example. So Hans Buster lawn maintenance on the 15th, the employees who were on it that day, this was my cost. Now, I think we need to expand this a little bit because it's not giving you, for instance, your revenue from this. So if you're charging him $20 for the cut, or if you're charging him $100 for a cut, that could be key information. But it does figure your employees' rates then versus the actual hours. Now, just to remind us, so I'll come out of here and then go into employees. When you set up your employees, you can come in and set their pay rate. And if you've done that, then that will feed into that hard job cost report. I think I'm going to be optimistic and say that's kind of a work in progress, that report, because I think it can be made even more useful with some additional information in there. Contract comparison. Okay, this is a valuable report in that what it enables you to do is to see how much you've collected from the installments for a customer versus the value of the work you've performed. It's designed to address the following scenario. You have a customer who's an installment account. Let's say you have a 10-month installment that starts up in March. And so they pay you for March and April and May, and then they call you and they say they want to quit, that they're going to look for another contractor. Well, what this allows you to do then is to create a report saying, okay, for this year, how much work have we done? Because the installments they paid may add up to, say, $900, $300 a month for 3 months. The work during that same time period, though, might be $1,500. You did a large cleanup and some other more labor-intensive, more expensive jobs in the spring, and that you would catch up then when in August when you did a couple mowing visits and still got paid the same installment. But if they quit early, then you have the ability to then pursue the difference with them. Now, one company I was working with, actually, they vary the installment month by month. The installments in the spring then are higher than the installments in the summer, late summer. And they explain that to the customer, that they do more work during certain times of the year, so the installment needs to be higher during those months. Now, I've not seen that before. If I have, it's very uncommon, but I thought that was an interesting approach to this, is by setting up the installments. So the total for the year is the same, but the amount of the installment may vary month to month. So let's come in here and we'll go back to January of 2021. And we'll do through June of 2021. We'll do different customers. Okay. All right, so here is Acme. Here's the installment amount during that time period. And then here are the jobs that were done and their value. And when we get to the bottom of Acme, let me come out of here and just do Acme as an individual account, because you'll probably run it just for a specific account. So I come out here and get to the bottom of this. So it shows I've collected $6,250 in installments against $2,200 worth of work. So in that case, it worked out well in my favor for this. And then the deviation between the two. And what you hope is the deviation is at or near zero, or is a positive number in your favor when you get there. Okay, next and final is the daily grosses report. So this shows you for a time period here. You can look at a specific crew. We'll look at all the crews. So this is telling us that let me just choose a crew because it's not showing me what crews these are. All right, so during this time period, this is the grosses for this, the budgeted man hours and dollar per hour for this crew for this time period. Again, I think that, let me make a note because I think this should be, break it out by crew number more clearly. So excuse me while I make a note. Okay. All right, employee reports. The employee reports start with the efficiency report. Now, the efficiency report is based on two numbers. The clock time that the employee is paid for, so 8 to 5, versus how many production hours he had during that time. And the production hours are calculated based on the start and stop times of the jobs that were done. So let me just come in here. We'll look first at the summary for this month. So here's the Stephen King. It doesn't look like, it looks like I have zeros for some of these folks. Oh, because I'm not tracking payroll through here. So that's what the issue is. But what it does is it does give you the total actual man hours, payroll hours, and total revenue for the employees over the time period. So this is efficiency. Again, it's designed so that if you are, if someone works 10 hours and they get paid for 10 hours, but they had 8 hours of production, they would be seen as 80% efficient in this report. And And then you could do it not just for dollar value, but just for hours if you want to show this to employees, but not show them dollar amounts. And then payroll report, that would be showing you their hours that are clocked in and out for that. Again, both revenue and hours only. Summary, crew route map. That actually shows where the crew was located based on the GPS in the app or the device where they're running the app. If you get a call from a customer that they didn't show up on a certain date, you could give it a date range, select the crew, and it would show the crew's recorded position, show property and job information here. So that's to help in case you need to audit a crew's movements. And again, employee clock times. So this would show you then the start-stop times for employees during a given time period. My apologies, I don't track employees in my demo copy. I should put in some data here to make this more valuable. Budgeted versus actual hours. Again, that's like the job costing report, but instead of showing a dollar value, it's showing whether they were over or under the budgeted hours for the job. Salesperson commission. That's something that's been added relatively recently. So let me go back to kind of track that through. When you set up a job in a customer, you can assign a salesperson to it. So here under commission, so you select the employee who is a salesperson, give a commission rate, and then the date sold, and then this can generate a sales report for you for the time period that you offer a commission for this. And then you can, so this will help you track salespeople and how to pay them for the work they've sold based on the, again, over here, the employee salesperson commission. So let me just go ahead and check on Dave Barry here. And we're going to go back a ways, see what we've got. That was 3%. Okay. So again, this is a relatively new piece I've not set up quite yet. Let me just see if I go back farther, if I get any results. Nope. All right. So that is, but this is the report for commissions. Employee job hours by category. This was a report from CLIPitc that didn't start off in ITC, but the fine folks at one of our companies decided, or they let us know how valuable this was for them. So what this enables you to do is show the category. So here we have categories and subcategories. So the report by category would show you how many hours employees have, say, for lawn service as a job category set up here. The category subcategories don't come into play that often in CLIPitc, but this is one place that they do. So we come back here and no record found for that. Let me see if I do have some better information in here. Again, here we go. So here is the employees start stop time. Let me see if this will let me scroll over. Yeah, so here now are the different categories we've got there. Well, let me compress this a little bit. So all right, so we move back over here. So here's the employee, start, stop, time, clock hours, traveled hours. The not assigned would be for services where there's no category set up. I have an irrigation category, landscaping, lawn service, pool service, snow plowing. And we can scroll through this and see what we get. But it just gives you ideas to the maybe the different units in your company and how many hours were to be budgeted to assign to those units here. So lawn service, here are some hours for those categories. All right, route sheet we've looked at, work projections. Work projection reports are designed to show you what what's on the upcoming schedule. So let's say I want to look ahead to the first week in March. So I go March 1st through 7th for crew 1. I'll do the 2 maintenance crews here. And then I'll do all work, all customers, and then hit show report. This report can take a while to run. So when you first run it, I'd say just start with a short time period or just 1 or 2 crews, see how long it takes, and then you'll be able to adjust accordingly as you want to expand this. Okay, Maria, do you have a specific question about the payroll reports? I know you want me to go over them. I did in a rather cursory fashion, so I would try to do a deeper dive if you've got a specific question about that. All right, so here is the work projections. Now, the work projections, a couple things about it. It shows you 1 page per each day. So here's crew 1 for the first. Here's crew 1 for the second, or also for the first. Okay, so I guess it went into a second day. So here's crew 2, and crew 2 again for the first. And then I come down here. Let me get to I got all these spring cleanups scheduled for the first, so that's why those are so populous. And then here's the second. Again, work scheduled, lawn maintenance for the third for crew 1, and so on. So this, again, gives you then crew by crew and day by day what's projected. And that way you're able to look ahead, perhaps look at man hours for crew assignments, etc. So this can be a useful report. And you've got some variations of it to forecast needed materials, forecast future revenue. Again, these are pretty much the same type of report, but just focusing rather than on the jobs, the material, and the revenue. All right, so then another report you can do here is reprint statements. So again, this is for billing out of CLIPitc ITC. So for back on the 18th, I can hit show report, and this will now give me the ability to reprint the statements that were generated during that time period. And so if this is another way to reprint statements for customers, isn't necessarily giving a status of these in terms of whether they've been paid or not, just gives you the ability to reprint from a print run that you did for the billing period. Okay, let's shift gears and go to custom reports. As I mentioned, custom reports are designed for you to create if one of the built-in reports doesn't quite give you what you need. And this also would serve as a foundation for creating, say, letters to customers. And you've got then a list of different reports that you've created. The oldest one's at the top. Newest one is at the bottom. And so let's say I want to see all, let me just start. So I want to do a mowing mailing list. So I'm going to start over with one. So I'll click Add View here. Now, when you click Add View and it takes you to the screen where you create the report, there's a checkbox here. If you check this, it will allow others who log in to see this report. If you do not check it, then it's just available for you to view when you're logged in. So I'm going to go 2022 mowing customers. Now, here are the databases you can choose from. If I wanted to do, say, a mailing list of all my active customers, I could choose any of the customer reports, like customer only. But here I'm combining information. I want my customers and jobs, so that's why I'm choosing this. If I wanted to see my mowing customers from last year, I could choose customer and history to look back at what we've done. So, but I'm going to do customer and job. Now over here, you have the different fields in the database. And so for this, I'm going to want to get the first name, last name. I'll add the greeting. And then I want to come up here, want to make sure I want the billing address, billing city, billing state here. And then I'm going to scroll down. And so notice customer, these are the different fields I have available from the database. So property, installments here. You've got job area, again, more property fields here. And now back to some other customer fields. So I got the zip code there. And now we come down to the job fields. So I want to do the job, job name, job charge. All right. Okay, so now I've selected these fields I want, and I want a couple different things. I want to have active customers. So these are the conditions. So now this is where I select what results I want. So in this case, I want only active customers. I'm going to add a condition because I only want active jobs too. So I come down here to jobs, and job status is active. Now this will give me all of my jobs. I just want the mowing job, and that is job number 1. So I come down here. Oops, slippery little. So job number is 1. Okay, having then created this, I hit save. So now it's been saved, and again, the oldest ones are on top. So I come here, 2022 mowing customers. If I hit process, I now see the different accounts. So John Smith has a couple different mowing jobs under his account. So here are the charges. So this is the information on the report. I can then export it to Excel. And I'll go to documents. Mow list. Excuse me a moment, it's going to open up in my other screen. So here now is my list of mowing customers. And I can use this to tally the total, for instance, for this. Now, let's say I decide I want to send a letter out to customers, my mowing customers. One thing that Excel allows you to do, it can allow you to work with a Word document to do a mail merge, which is very convenient. So here now is my Word. Nope, wrong one. Hold on. Here now is my Word document. So I can come in here now, and I can say today's date, February. Okay. We look forward to seeing you. Okay, so now we've got, misspelling there. All right, so now we've got this blank letter. So what do we do with this? Well, you come in here to mailings and you say start mail merge. We've already started, so I hit select recipients. So I want to use an existing list, and the list is my Excel sheet. So I come to my documents, and here's the Excel sheet. So I select this and hit open. Now, note, pay attention to these icons up here. So when I hit OK, notice these are now live. And one of the options is insert merge field. So what I can do is I can come down here, put my cursor here, and I say, okay, I want the first name, last name, billing address, billing city, state, zip, and greeting. Now I close this and I come in here. So I want a space between the first and last name. Then I come here and I hit enter. So there's the billing address. I hit enter again. I put in a comma between the city and state and a space before the zip code. And then I do a couple of lines here. And there we've got greetings. And then if I wanted to, I can clean this up a little bit. I can come here and I can put in the job name. And if I wanted to show them the charge. Oops. Okay, so it did that too much. So I just delete one of these job names. Give some space here. All right, so now I have this letter, and I can come here and click Preview Results. So here now, okay, so I need to make a change. So I come Greetings, I put a space here, and I want to enter the first name, comma. Okay, so now I hit Preview. Dear John, and I can scroll through. And notice there's no dollar amount there, so I can just get out of this, come in, add the dollar symbol or currency symbol, and now we've got the letter. And we've got, if I hit the finish and merge here, down here, it'll tell me how many letters we've got. So see, I've did 122 letters in just 10 minutes, if that. Now, there are ways to do this. So you can do a renewal letters, for instance, when you want to send out a renewal for customers, that would be done back here. If you came in and hit the merge report, it basically would flip the job columns. Okay, this report, if I did more than one job, you'd have the name and address on multiple lines, each line for the different jobs. The merge report flips it, meaning that rather than having one column with the job name, each job would become its own column, and that makes it easier to mail merge into a Word document. But that's something that we can look at the end of the year if you need help in generating renewal letters. Okay, so this is an example of creating a custom report, and then in this case, exporting it to Excel, and from Excel, creating a letter to your customers. One thing to keep in mind when you create a report or when you're in this process, you may not see certain fields here because this doesn't, they didn't begin by adding every single field. So they've been expanding this at the requests of users. So for instance, I believe I saw in here a new field because we had the request to do the job area or the property area from the property. And I think I saw that in here. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Right here, yeah. So that's a new field that we've added. If you're in here trying to create a custom report and you don't see a field that you need, please let us know. We can send that to development to add to that. Okay. Done to date report. Okay, well, let's take a look at that. So let me just see the best way to run that. So I'm going to save this. So, okay, let's say we want to do the done to date report for mowing. So we can come down here and we go into the report again because you can edit reports. So if you've created a report and realize you need a field or don't need a field, you can come in and tweak it, and you can tweak the conditions too. So coming in here, let me see if there is let me see if that field is available. Yeah, done this season. So I've added that report here. So now I save. And then come back into the report. I think I should request that they put the newest reports at the top, but okay, so I'm going to hit process. And now here is the done to date or done this season for that. So that's how you do that, Joe. Can we do a report mail merge based off of a job package? You can do it based off a job package. I don't know. I don't think so at this stage. We've got the packages report here, but I don't think in the custom fields. So when you're looking at the database you want, I don't think that any of those databases shows you the package name. So I will add that to my list for development. Now let me go back though to the packages report. You can export this to Excel, so you might be able to dump it into Excel and then manipulate it. Yeah, so if you, Zach, if you can give me, send me an email to billc@clip.com with more details about what you're looking for in that. Can we get a season summary report? If I remember correctly, let me go into CLIPitc real quick. So hold on a second. Now, one thing we are doing is, for instance, one set of reports we're adding to CLIPitc are the reports that were associated with programs and rounds. So that is being added in the short term, but let me pull this over here. So in XE reports, season summary. There's not one by this name. No, I will add that to my request for development. Okay, all right. Thank you for that request. Okay. I am going to wrap things up. We've had some good questions. Again, we are recording these. Adrian thinks they'll be up at YouTube next week. So as soon as he gives me the heads up that they are there, I will email all of you with the link to the different videos from these 4 classes. Don't have the next set of classes on the calendar yet. I'm going to have to work on that next week. And so I will let you all know about those if you want or to attend again, or if you missed one, or if you have other folks in your companies that would that should go through the classes. Appreciate your attentiveness this week, and I hope you all have a good weekend. Feel free to send me feedback for the class, and we'll be glad to keep improving. So again, have a great weekend, folks, and pray for Ukraine. Bye.